The son of a farmer is framing a law which is affecting millions.
Being son of a farmer is an advantage for me.
But the fees structure, everything has been so commercialized.
Pro bono publico commitment is at the heart of any profession.
Earlier, the elite class of the society used to take up the law to practice to help the poor people.
Professional who will never customize the quality of services depending upon the fees that is paid. Stand before the courts for justice. If necessary, stand against the judges for justice.
When there is a poor person coming from the poor background to practice the law, he has to make certain amount of money.
Rule of law is like oxygen for the society, and we will come to know only when the oxygen is withdrawn.
Does that mean law is not for the poor? Is it only for the elite people? Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to our show, Coffee with Counsel.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
It's our honor, sir, to host you. So you were a principal, then a vice chancellor, and now you're working for Kilpar. You're making laws. So how does a son of a farmer is framing a law which is affecting millions? What was your journey behind it, sir?
Mr. Harsha, it is like this. Being son of a farmer is an advantage for me. And being first generation education is another advantage for me because I can appreciate the value of education. And I should be ever grateful to the society which converted me into an educated person. I picked up every letter from the society, my teachers in the primary schools, in the neighborhood. So they taught me alphabets, they taught me numbers, and I value this education because of which I could go from a village, go up to become a professor in the university. And then the question arises, it is time to give back. So when I have not picked up my letters at home, when society has made me a literate person and an educated person, I owe so much to the society. That compels me to come out with all the commitment for the common good to the extent possible given my ability and strength. That's one thing. And second, having taken birth in a agricultural family, I know what type of gamble the farmer plays. Two major gambles, one with the climate, another with the market. And as you were mentioning in our earlier conversation, you tell it.
Yes, I mean, there is a saying which says that farmer is the only person who buys everything in retail and sells everything in wholesale.
Okay, I belong to that family. Okay.
Yes.
So I know the plight of the farmers and the agricultural laborers, and I also appreciate the value of food. See, in one of the books which I was reading, it stated a person who is not growing his own food is a sort of parasite. So, whether we subscribe to this or not, when there is food on my plate, I have to thank a farmer
Yes.
who has grown it for me. And this makes me to think about the good of this class of people, the vulnerable people. That is one aspect of that. As far as schooling is concerned, I should be grateful to all the government schools and colleges. Except 2 years of PUC, the rest of my education is from public institutions. I am a product of public universities and public schools. Okay, I was a downstart. studied up to my 10th standard in a small school and junior college in a place called Manvi in Raichur district.
Okay.
And then for PGC, I was sent over to Mysore. And it so happened I landed up in the company of very great people of Mysore. Because their children were of my age group, I was going around in their houses. I have to mention to you that how fortunate I was. I was growing in an environment wherein discussions and debates were taking place amongst the intellectual giants like G.T. Narayan Rao, U.R. Ananthamurthy, S.L. Bhairappa, Prabhu Shankara, and H.G. Surya Narayan Rao. H.D. Surya Narayan Rao was the elder brother of our movie actor who was wing commander in Air Force,
Okay.
Dattatreya. Dattana we call him, no?
Yeah.
So his brother's house was the place wherein I was grooming myself.
Okay.
I was taught my language. I was taught to button the upper button of the shirt. Otherwise, I was going there with 2-3 buttons open. That was the style from my area.
Yes.
And then in a very nice manner, they said, look, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಈ ಬಟನ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ನೀನು ಎಷ್ಟು ಲಕ್ಷಣವಾಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತೀಯ ನೀನು. So they had their own way of mentoring us. And in their houses, they had everything. In H.G. Surya Narayan's house, his son was my classmate, Narendra. You have Vishwakosha, Book of Knowledge, all sorts of encyclopedias, all sorts of dictionaries, everything. And they made us to read at least one editorial a day. So in that environment, I formed myself to a better level than what I was when I completed my 10th standard. Wrongly, I went into science education.
Oh, okay.
At that age, probably I was not mature enough to choose what is right for me. I committed that mistake. I joined BSc program. The college was an excellent college, Yuvaraja's College, Mysore. Great teachers. But I did not have aptitude to learn these things, that calculus, trigonometry, modern algebra, and especially organic chemistry. I tell you, it was like that movie Tare Jami Par. So everything looks same for me. I cannot understand.
Okay.
So with great difficulty, I cleared that. And there are other factors also. I used to be a swimmer in Mysore, spending maximum time in swimming and other adventure activities and all that. I was not so focused. Then I decided I have to take education very seriously. The simple question was, a person who can practice in the swimming pool morning 2 hours, evening 2 hours, is it difficult for him to sit in the library and study for 4 hours? And I said, I will do that. Then the most important decision on my part was choice of college. From Mysore, I moved to Dharwad, University Law College, Dharwad. It was rated to be the most prestigious law college in South India because of its library. And Mr. Harsha, you have to believe, when I was a student there, the library had subscribed to around 130 periodicals from alphabetically from All England Law Reports to Yale Law Journal, through Cambridge University, Oxford, California, Southern California, all sorts of law periodicals, and Indian also. For about 80 foreign journals used to be there. Journal of Criminology and Criminal Law, Journal of Law and Philosophy, veritable things. And all the latest arrivals are displayed on the display board. And any moment a student enters into the library, he will see what is the new arrival, both books and journals. And we had a wonderful librarian by name Vishwanath Kotre. If you are sitting at a table reading some constitutional law book, he will come and just watch over you. Then you will go to the stack, bring the latest edition of that book, and he will open that page, whatever article you are reading, he will keep it on your table and take the other book. This is the latest edition, you read it. And if you are working on a topic, he will pile loads of material on your table. Whatever that is related to that topic is there in the library, it will be on the table. The librarian will bring it. Such a wonderful librarian, but great disciplinarian who could match the disciplinary standards of our principal, Professor G.V. Ajjappa. He is a towering personality, and along with Madhav Menon and others, he was conferred so many great awards. Great personality, disciplinarian, well-read person. So he was our principal. So in that ambience, we had all great teachers there who were committed. And in that library, under the guidance of those great teachers, I could excel to some extent in my undergraduate. It was an annual system. So throughout the year, such a wonderful library is there, which is open from morning 8 to evening 9. And the principal was kind enough to keep everything open during the examinations. 24 hours students used to be there. See, every night, if you go to University Law College in the midnight also, you will have 40, 50 students there in the campus. Teachers will give the chavis of their chambers to the students so that they can sit there, study. And we were keeping our bedrolls in the college itself. So study there, sleep there. And even children who were living in their homes also will come there because seniors are there, discussion is there and all that. It was a fascinating environment, a great institution. And I could equip myself very well. And then another important decision as far as education is concerned was to move back to Mysore University for my masters. And what great teachers, unique. Each person was like a mountain, headed by Dr. C.K. and Raja, a very famous professor, along with Professor Devidas, Professor Ishwar Bhatt, Professor Srinivas Murthy, Professor H.K. Nagaraja. All these teachers, they were heart and soul devoted to groom their children. We had two specializations. One was international law specialization, another was constitutional law specialization. So I opted for constitutional law specialization. Wonderful teaching and very, very rigorous grind. Class was supposed to be of 2 hours. Sometimes 2 hours class was extending up to 4 hours also. Okay, only 2 periods a day. 2 periods means 2 hours each, 4 hours, but it will go on. Assignments were compulsory. One after the other, we have to prepare and make presentations in the classrooms. So that grind equipped us with very powerful analytical, critical aptitude. And we were very well trained in writing also because that was compulsory requirement in each paper. So that brevity that is required of a lawman was imbued in us. And our professor was always emphasizing that it should not be according to this, according to that. You should be in a position to say, in my opinion. You should form your own opinion. Don't prototype, copy from various sources. It was a very wonderful experience, very rigorous, but we enjoyed. The discipline also we enjoyed. And because of that, we could excel very well. And son of a farmer goes to become a first ranker at the end of that training.
Sir, like in this current era, in this generation, is it possible for one more C.S. Patil sir to come up the way you came up through the government institutions? Because don't you think, sir, the education institution is becoming too commercialized? Because yesterday when we were speaking, I got to know there is one college charging 16 lakhs per year to learn law. Law is a noble profession, they say, but the fees structure, everything has been so commercialized right now. Do you think, is it possible for somebody from the government law or something to come up and be in the position what you have achieved? Yes, the personality matters, but the access to the law,
Yes,
is it becoming simplified or else too commercialized, sir? What do you think?
You are touching a very important point which disturbs any right thinking person, especially an academician like me. We are the products of institutions wherein fees was very minimal in terms of hundreds. Okay. And in my master's, I did not pay any fees because I was the topper of the class. It used to be called subject scholar. Subject scholar was waived off all the fees. Such wonderful thing, highly subsidized education through public funded institutions. And I am so happy that I was heading these public funded institutions. Major part of my service was in the University College of Law and then KSLU's Law School, wherein around 80% of the students will come with some fee concession facilities, cash certificates, income certificates, and other things. And I was feeling very happy because they were coming from almost a similar background like me, and I was feeling totally satisfied when I groom these children and when I see these people being partners in the firms in Bangalore, in Mumbai. They are into all best of the law firms, holding very good corporate positions, excelling in professions with their own office in place like Bangalore, coming from villages in Raichur and Bijapur. I feel that I have really sorrowed. These opportunities should be there. Public educational institutions should excel. There is no confusion about it. Because everyone cannot afford the legal education wherein fees charged is very, very high. See, elite institutions are charging in terms of lakhs. Private institutions are charging in terms of thousands. And probably there is no institution wherein you can speak of hundreds. That period is over. See, here state has to play a role. Okay? And in the present policy of the Department of Law, Justice and Human Rights, of which Honorable Sri H.K. Patil was the Law Minister, the policy document that is created for the Law Ministry, which is approved by the Cabinet, Government of Karnataka, it contemplates a Directorate of Legal Education.
Okay,
Directorate of Legal Education.
Okay.
Okay, therein it has to come out, it is to be worked upon, wherein there will be a sort of state level agency
Okay.
to think of uniform standards in legal education, fee structure, and other things. And as it has happened in the technical education, maybe it should be nice if there can be a seat sharing formula. Education is a charity and philanthropic activity. And that's what Bar Council rules also say. See, law colleges are not to earn profits. Any education for that matter is not to earn profit. It is a service. Education is a service sector. Okay, because of commercialization of education, and even Supreme Court also has made observations that there can be small surplus, but it should not be, a profit-oriented institution. Service motto is very, very important. So if things come through, if there can be an atmosphere in the state wherein a poor person also can study law, there should be seats available, adequate number of seats available. See, when we take population advocates ratio, we are far, far less, and there is job for every advocate, and there is need for good advocates. So in the National Knowledge Commission report 2005, they said, I am telling it from the report, therein they have made an observation, India is a consumer of available legal services.
Okay. Consumer of available legal services. So that means we don't have enough options.
From being consumer of available legal services, we have to transform ourselves to become consumers of competitive legal services. Okay, and the new education policy contemplates integration of technology, everything into field of education, and Bar Council in 2024 has issued a circular to incorporate technological input into legal education also. So things are happening, but not uniformly. Certain of the well-equipped institutions, resourceful institutions, they are excelling well. They are training their children, equipping them better to perform when they enter the professional field. At the same time, we have, see, in Karnataka, we have 7 government colleges for about 19 government-aided colleges, and say 4 university law schools, say Mysore, Bangalore, Dharwad, 3 university law schools, and say for about around 10 to 15 autonomous standalone, not standalone, autonomous universities, deemed to be universities. And under KSLU, we have 3 autonomous colleges. So this is the legal education variety that is available, and there is no uniformity. Autonomous institutions have flexibility, and deemed universities have flexibility to introduce new courses, change the syllabus and other things. KSLU plays a major role, and they are doing well also, because as and when it is required, syllabus is updated, it is revised also, new laws are included in the syllabus. They are trying to set standards and maintain standards. But when a question is asked, it is like this. There is legal education which is resource-based. Resource-based legal education is not available to common people who cannot afford it. Only those people who can afford paying for that class of education, they can do that. But the other institutions we classify as democratic legal education, wherein people, whoever who can afford, can go there and get that education. But what happens is there will be disparity. Other day, Harish Salve made a statement that these people who are well equipped with the artificial intelligence technologies, etc., the performance of such a lawyer will be far, far superior to another lawyer who does not have all that facility. And another thing which I stumbled upon was that AI will kill jobs, but not professions. So when I read this statement, I said, okay, professionals have a hope. Professionals will not be replaced. As long as we are producing professionals from whatever legal education institution, they have a role to play. But see, going by principle, when we speak that law is a noble profession, pro bono publico commitment is at the heart of any profession. So going by the definition of profession by Dean Roscoe Pound, going by the definition of Justice Brandis, all of them emphasize upon pro bono publico commitment.
Okay.
So that is a learned art pursued by a class of men as a matter of public service. No less a public service, even if they are incidentally earning their living. Earning is incidental, and see, Justice Brandis attributes 3 criteria for a profession. The first one is, he says, the basic preliminary training for a professional is intellectual in character.
Okay.
So
Intellectual.
intellectual ability.
Yeah, I mean, like I recently read somewhere, intelligent and intellectual are 2 different things.
Yes.
They are not same.
Intelligent is, it may take the lane of being smart enough
Yes.
to, but the intellect is knowledge based. He has to create a portal, a bastion of knowledge wherein. So it is basic input is intellectual in character, as distinguished from mere skill, he says. See, unfortunately, we speak in terms of argumentation skills, writing skills, drafting skills. And for a law person, skill, what is this? Skill means converting knowledge into action is the skill. Okay. For a gymnast, skill is different. For a performer in circus, skills are different. So that is colloquial skill. The meaning is colloquial there. But when you speak of skills in a profession, a skilled surgeon, no, that is not any ordinary skill. This skill involves conversion of knowledge into action. So he is performing that surgery, and anybody cannot. A knowledgeable person can do that. Same is here. So drafting skills means converting knowledge into action. Submissions, converting knowledge into action. So it is knowledge based.
Like I have two different
And second one is they are for public purpose. They are pursued for the good of the public. The third one is very, pungent. He says, the amount of financial return is not the accepted measure of success of a professional. Okay. Being rich advocate is different, being professionally successful. Say, if you read Palkhivala, A Life by M.V. Kamath, at the end of all his celebrated career, his total assets amounted to somewhere around 1 crore, which he had willed away to a charitable hospital. But Palkhivala is Palkhivala, unparalleled.
Yes.
In the words of Justice Krishna, when he speaks of his performance, when the case of Keshavananda was reopened, he says the performance of Palkhivala is never equaled and never surpassed in the history of Supreme Court. That's what Justice Krishna writes about it. Professionally successful. See, in my perception, profession is greater than career. Because of this pro bono publico requirement, profession is greater than career. Nothing wrong in having career motive. But along with that, I should remember that I am a professional. I have to play a bigger role than making a career out of it. And life is bigger than profession.
Actually, that leads to me the question of the saying is that law is a noble profession. Earlier, the elite class of the society used to take up the law to practice to help the poor people out as to what the law says. But with current generation, the current trend, as to the two question which I have is that when there is a poor person coming from the poor background to practice the law, he has to make certain amount of money end of the day, because he can't purely dedicate his life with the public for the public unless and until he will be able to satisfy certain needs to the in the home. So when there is a poor person coming and practicing the law, he has to make money. Does that mean law is not for the poor? Is it only for the elite people?
It is like this. We have the popular saying like, say, courts are open for people with golden keys. Okay. And see, various similar things are there. As I was telling you, earning livelihood is incidental to discharging professional responsibilities. If the profession has to remain a noble profession. Okay, it is like this. We have to understand how professions have evolved. Initially, professions were open for anybody, anyone. Yeah. So, I learned medicine through somebody, then I become a doctor. I see things like this. I learn dispute resolution skills from somebody, then I become a person who resolve disputes, like in a panchayat or as head of the village and all these things. See, initially, there were no professions like the professions we have today.
Hmm.
There were people, he was a carpenter, he was an agriculturist, he was somebody else, he was a
It used to be
potter.
a skill based.
And along with that, he was excelling in one field. A person who was grazing cattle, he learned something about the herbs to treat animals. So it was passing on from generation to generation. We had a Vaidya. Okay. He was an agriculturist or he was somebody else. He will treat patients free of cost because his food is secured, because he belongs to some other avocations. Okay. Pro bono. Everything was pro bono. See, we classify it as chaotic situation wherein anybody can become anything. So from professions have moved from chaos to organization. So professions got organized. So doctors as a class, lawyers as a class, so they are organized. So they came out with some principles as to who should be given this privilege of belonging to this profession, some type of recognition, enrollment, etc. Because it is knowledge based, because it is pro bono publico, society felt, okay, these are the learned people. Our interest is safe in their hands. They trusted these professionals because of their intellectual ability, knowledge, pro bono publico commitment, and created autonomy in favor of professions by passing laws. Advocates Act. Only a person who is enrolled can appear for others in the court of law.
Yes.
However learned a professor may be, unless his name is on the rolls, he cannot appear.
Yeah.
Except party in person. He cannot. The very meaning of advocate is advocating on behalf of somebody else. Who is that class? Advocates on the rolls. Who says it? There is an act. Who made the act? Society, the parliament. They have enacted, created monopoly in favor of professionals. Why? Because they are knowledgeable, and second, because that pro bono publico commitment is there on the part of the professionals. So from chaos to organization to autonomy. Now Bar Council of India decides who should be there on the rolls, who should not be. A foreign degree holder has to undergo a bridge course. That is the mandate of the Bar Council. They decide. Nobody can question why bridge course. Because autonomy. We are an autonomous profession. We decide what the standards of legal education should be, what college is to be recognized, who graduate is to be enrolled. Autonomy.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the journey of professions. Yes. From being unorganized, chaotic, to organization, to autonomy. From autonomy, always autonomy comes with accountability. When autonomy is created in favor of the professions by society, through a law passed under the Constitution, the responsibility of the professions will increase. Because they have to retain the trust which society has reposed in them. Okay? See, what happens when the laws are passed wherein adjudication fora are created, wherein advocates are not allowed.
Yeah.
Okay, that reflects very poorly on the part of the profession. Okay, see, why this is called a noble profession is, see, we have to look at lawyers as peacemakers. Lawyers are peacemakers, and going by gospel, blessed are those who are the peacemakers because they shall be called children of God. Lawyer has the unique opportunity of playing the role of a peacemaker between the nations, between the institutions, between the individuals. So that's why lawyers are noble, because they have the ability to add quality dimensions to the life of individuals, institutions, and the nation also.
Yeah.
And profession is at the forefront in saving the Constitution for the nation, in saving the liberty for the Constitution. And they stand up when the country is at crossroads. Fali Nariman, in one of his books, he writes, whenever country is at crossroads, ordinary people look at professionals because they know that these are the people of judgment. and whatever they do, others follow. So what responsibility on the part of the advocates? It is a noble profession. When it is such a noble profession, the responsibility of the advocates increases. And if I have to produce professionals who will not restrict the quality of their professional services depending upon the ability of the client to pay. So originally, you may remember, on the gown of the advocates, there used to be a pocket at the back. What was the symbolic connotation? The symbolic connotation is, here is a professional who will never customize the quality of services depending upon the fees that is paid. Irrespective of what is the reward, he is a professional, he will give that professional service. That is the thing. So if the legal education is affordable legal education, okay, to some extent there is nothing, it is not like investing and reaping the benefit out of investment. So when subsidized education is available, maybe you will have a greater commitment towards discharging the professional services. Even now, we have so many great advocates who render pro bono services.
Yes.
Even in Supreme Court also we have, at the trial levels also we have. And that reflects that professionals, they know that they are noble people belonging to noble profession. That's why they are serving. And this creed should increase. See, the cost of education should not drive the professional, make him think that he has invested so many lakhs of rupees in his education, how he will take it back. But if he remembers that he belongs to a noble profession, society is safe in his hands. So when society feels, see, we have to appreciate, we have to remember, law is the only profession that has found a place in the Constitution. Right to be represented by a legal practitioner of his choice is the only thing that is there in the Constitution. And all law professionals should feel that their profession is raised to the level of constitutional status. Okay. And for that, the seeds should be sown in the law schools. And before memory fades, Falin Ariman, at the end of that, he makes an observation. What we have to do? Make professions good. That's what he writes. Make professions good. How? He has given a formula. 1. Emphasize on professional ethics in the law colleges. Second, what he says is, the elders in the bar should conduct themselves in such a way that they will become role models whom the youngsters will emulate. So he says there is great responsibility on the lawyers, advocates who have already excelled, because there is a saying, no, father is telling the son, watch your foots. Then son replies, you watch your foots because I am following in your footsteps.
That reminds me of the letter which Dr. Palkhivala had written for then Attorney General of India.
Yes.
Such a
That is
beautiful,
very famous
yes,
letter.
yes. I was like, I will read it with your permission, sir.
Please.
So it goes like this. I meant to write to you to congratulate you on your appointment as the Attorney General. But after reading your public statement, I would like to congratulate India on having you as the highest law officer of the government. What you have said about the Attorney General's office, the guardian of public interest and the promoter of human rights, is so true and so little understood. The greatest glory of the Attorney General is not to win the case for the government, but to ensure that the justice is done to the people. In the United States, the motto of the Justice Department, carved into the rounds of the Attorney General's rotunda of the Attorney General's office, is: the United States wins its cases whenever justice is done to one of its citizens in the courts. You will mark a new stage in the evolution of public law in India. May you have a long and fulfilling term in which to effect the luminous change. Love and best wishes in which Nargesh joins.
Yeah, is better off.
Better.
See,
Can you give us the
this is-
backdrop of
this
why this
is
letter came up? Sir?
volume. This is volume of education for any law professional. See, we have to keep on repeating these things. These are the things like mantra. Attorney General, Advocate General, Solicitor General, all of them are professionals first. He is a professional. A professional will stand up for justice. Okay. See, MC Seervai, the first Attorney General of India, say about MC Seervai, Justice MC Chagla, in Roses in December, the second edition of Roses in December, in the epilogue, he writes about MC Seervai, the first Attorney General, wherein he states that if a constitutional question is involved and he is sitting there in the court hall and the judges are about to adopt an interpretation in favor of the state but not the right interpretation, he will stand up and say, don't adopt that type of interpretation. That means he was known for his impartial observations, impartial submissions. The job is to uphold the Constitution. The job is to uphold the justice. Okay. We have to remember, recently, Justice Rohington Nariman has written a book on basic structure, published in 25 or 24. That book is dedicated to Nani Palkhivala and H.M. Seervai.
Oh, okay.
See, when Nani Palkhivala was arguing Keshavananda Bharati's case, state was represented by H.M. Seervai. He was the Attorney General.
Yes, okay.
Okay. So, he opposed basic structure tooth and nail as the Attorney General of India.
Okay.
Palkhivala stood firm.
Yes.
And you know the decision,
Yeah.
equally divided courts and one concurring opinion of Justice H.R. Khanna, and ultimately basic structure doctrine comes.
Yeah.
And later what happened was, H.M. Seervai writes an article in Journal of Indian Law Institute accepting basic structure doctrine to be the good doctrine, correct, within 1 year of Keshavananda's judgment. See, look at that. Having opposed the proposition, the professional retracts and affirms the arguments of the opponent, which has found a place as a principle in the judgment of the Supreme Court. That's why we have to appreciate Rohington Nariman also, because he has dedicated this to both of them.
Yeah.
Palkhivala for arguing Keshavananda Bharati's case and saving Constitution for India, and H.M. Seervai for his generosity of changing the opinion and accepting basic structure within 1 year. See, these are the professional values, See, ultimately the Constitution is supreme, justice is supreme, and these are the people who are the agents of justice, who should always think in terms of what is. See, one of the requirements, I tell you, law is also called an independent profession. Not only autonomous profession, not only noble profession, it is an independent profession. Why it is an independent profession? Because law is the only profession which can stand up to any power, look into the eyes, speak truth. And that's why lawyers have saved the countries. See, when you are an independent profession, that is a very great level to which the profession rises. In one of the speeches which Kapil Sibal made when he took over as president of Supreme Court Bar Association or something like that, he made a statement. We are the people who stand up for justice before the judge. So we are the people who stand up for justice, who stand before the courts for justice. If necessary, stand against the judges for justice. Something like that.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
that is a very powerful sentence. They stand for justice before the courts, and if necessary, stand against the court for justice. So that is an independent bar will lead to an impartial judiciary, and it will save the constitution for India. It will save the rule of law. It will save the liberty of the individuals. Nariman writes, what is the rule of law? Rule of law is like oxygen for the society. And we will come to know only when the oxygen is withdrawn. Till then we will not understand what is rule of law.